everybody, and welcome to Dungeons and Drams, and Ed's face, as always. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We've got a full house tonight, and we've got a great game for everybody. So hi to everybody in the chat. Let us know what you're drinking. And to that same effect, let's go Jason. What are you drinking tonight?
I don't know yet. I have a Japanese whiskey, I have a bourbon, and I have a Bourbon County Stout beer. I'm just going to go where the night takes me.
That sounds good. Which Japanese?
Cast strength Kaio Mizunara.
Okay. The cast strength will make that one worth it. Kaio's like okay, but cast strength sounds like it's going to be a good modifier.
Yeah, I mean it's all Mizunara. It's 10 years old and it's a single barrel at 112 proof. I mean, it's pretty damn delicious.
Okay, that sounds pretty good then. Yeah. The usual, like, there's a lot of the Kaios on the shelf, and I've been like very hit or miss on a lot of them. So that one sounds good though. Anything Mizunara tends to be amazing. So.
Yep.
How about you, Cliffy? What are you drinking?
I was feeling rum tonight. I don't know. So I just grabbed a few different rums from Foursquare, starting with Dorley's, I think it's XO, but moving to the 2009 and the 2010 later as the night gets a little bit darker. So
nice. Well, you guys are underwater in the dark, so that will happen very quickly.
I feel like rum underwater kind of goes together.
That was really appropriate.
Nice. So Ed, how about you?
I was trying to decide. I'm going to go do a Wisconsin night because it is currently 6 degrees here. So I want to pay tribute to this ridiculous frozen hellscape that I live in. And I decided to start with J. Henry. This is the Patent Road Reserve cast strength. This is the Marmalade Skies.
Marmalade Skies. Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
J. Henry's so good. That makes sense.
It is.
And
I got a little Driftless Glen to follow up with once I finish this.
Nice. And I could kind of speak for Molly. I'm guessing you're probably not drinking tonight because as I saw this weekend, I think you're probably still recovering. So.
Yeah, I had an actual hangover on Sunday, so I'm sticking with my my soda from my Soda Stream and my fancy little glass straw here.
Okay.
So y'all enjoy for me.
Nice. I will keep what transpired that night to ourselves. So that sounds ominous. There were a lot of people there. That also sounds ominous. There. Hey Adriana, what are you drinking?
So I haven't had a drink in a few days, but I think I'm gonna start out with the pirate bottle of Elijah Craig 94 proof. It's not the barrel proof, but it's so good even at that proof.
Oh, I was about to say, I'm like, she hasn't had anything to drink, and then she's gonna have an ECBP pirate bottle.
No. You're gonna have a pirate bottle, but keep it easy. So
I'm like,
also,
those are like 140 proof almost sometimes.
Right?
Damn.
And Utah is trying to do its best to be as Wisconsin as it can because we're 12 degrees now, but it's supposed to get down to 3.
Oh, there you
Yikes.
go. There you
go.
go.
Man.
I feel bad complaining about low 50s, but it's cold here too, y'all.
Low 50s there is cold though. You guys have thin skin over there.
I can see snow in the mountains in the distance this morning, so I think that's pretty cold.
Yeah.
You can see snow in the mountains up close.
Yeah. We're in for some cold here. Actually, it's going to be freezing on Friday. Freezing and like precipitation of some form. So I mean, not great either way. I could do without the cold. I like fall. Fall's kind of my favorite. So, did I miss it? Well, I guess myself. I'm drinking a beer to start off with, and then probably some water because I've barely drank any today. And then actually probably I might dip back into the ECBP C922. I'm really liking this one.
Nice.
Ooh,
I was
nice,
a bit late to the party on that one. I only just did the review like last week. I'm like, hey, it's not even available, but I didn't want to skip out on it. But man, really good. I like that one a lot. What do you guys think of the A123? Have any of you had it yet?
Oof, I have thoughts. I just reviewed it last week. The Larceny and the ECBP. I love the Larceny A123. It honestly is my favorite Larceny barrel proof ever. The Elijah Craig is a little bit weird to me. I don't know, Bill, have you tried it? Or
I haven't tried it yet. No, but I did see that you had your stream where you did kind of both of them together.
Yeah, it's just off profile, like a lot. Like I compared to a bunch of even like store picks, and it doesn't even match any of them. It's really odd. Don't dislike it, but like Larceny wins this round, I think. Are
you of the same opinion, Jason? Because I'm sure you've had it.
I haven't had it yet. No.
You haven't had it? Don't they like send you 10 bottles of everything? So
not Heaven Hill.
No.
No.
I don't know why Heaven Hill sends me anything. Like they're the only one.
I just recently got on the sample list, but I haven't gotten those samples yet. So I don't know if I wasn't put in the system when those went out quite yet. So
I just got a box of samples from Barrel. They have 3 new things coming out that I think Barrel is actually going to be my next single barrel pick. I have a call with them tomorrow. So they have the St. Agrestis Brooklyn Amaro cask, the GXA1, which I don't know what that is, and then a Ruby Port barrel. So I think I'm going to try those on like a short format this week and see how that goes, but we'll see. Anyway, so Jason, you're getting an offer from EJ, but we'll see. All right, so let's get back into our game. If you guys are good to go, I think we've got people here in the chat. Thank you guys all for joining. So let's do a quick little recap of last week. So when last we saw our heroes, they were investigating the Mistscale lair and had learned from Yona that the UNT, which by the way, I learned this week after posting that video that most people pronounce it Yonti. But you know what? In the Lands of Dimidium, they're called UNT.
UNT forever.
Yep. So funny. All right. So anyway, you had learned from Yona that the UNT were enslaving the lizard folk and forcing them to scavenge treasure for a black dragon named Thorek the Malevolent Mist. The group convinced Yona that they would go and kill the UNT in order to free them from their subjugation. The group bid farewell to Mixshweta and asked her to try to find out more information about the Mistscales, then headed deeper into the cave. They dove into the water, swam into an underwater tunnel, and found a room of glowing anemones and small butterfly-looking fish, which mesmerized Alessio and Talin. Compelled to swim deeper and reach for a blue amethyst at the center of the anemone, Talin and Alessio were being slowly poisoned by their underwater glowing creatures, while Knobolas and Agnomeio skewered and killed the mesmers. Finally breaking free of the enchantment, they retrieved the blue gem, and the group swam back out of the cave. We return, still submerged, 5 of their 15 minutes of air used up, and Daffy's in the lead. Now while I get this set up. So Daffy, you see a giant boulder, and you'll see this in a sec. You see a giant boulder breaking up the room in front of you into 4 separate paths. You came from the south, and you just visited the east. Where would you like to go? And while you are contemplating, and I'll even give you guys just a sec to kind of talk, only because she wasn't here last week. If there's anything you feel that she should know, I'll allow a moment of talking before we enact our rules again.
Well, as far as I remember, we couldn't really see where the other paths were going. So
correct.
And the water was just kind of pulling us.
Much.
So we didn't put a lot of thought, and we are not able to communicate underwater aside from like hand gestures, just so you know.
I mean, from when we went by the first time, it looked like there were rapids on one side and then calmer water the other way. So I don't know. That's all we know, really.
I mean, I imagine that I can hear where the rapids are flowing, right?
So something to note. So you are all fully underwater. These caverns are completely flooded. So everything is transpiring underwater, which is why you're running out of air. So the reason that you're making the decision is because since you weren't here, you hung towards the back of the pack. So you were actually not in that room with the anemone. So now you get to make the decision.
Do I have to decide quickly enough where like I can't even make a perception check to, try to find out if there's a direction we should head in?
Go ahead and roll perception. Let's try that.
Let's. Because I honestly have no clue.
Did any of us try and do a perception check last time?
No.
I think we just went with the flow.
Yeah.
I believe quite literally.
I didn't plan that, but I like it.
So with an 11, so it's it's hard to tell because it's pretty dark here and the water's moving you towards this rock. You don't have enough time to figure it out.
All right. Well, with that said, I guess we will just head. It's a little hard to see, and actually, wouldn't I be able to see a little bit more just because I have dark vision?
So
or
with the dark vision, so dark
problem?
vision is it allows for grayscale vision, but in this case, there's so little light that you're really not able to see much of anything. You should be able to see a little bit of stuff, like kind of the rock in front of you. But you're also in a very tight little cave. Like, picture yourself in just a pitch black tunnel that you could just barely see, and the water's moving you through it, and it's claustrophobic in here.
50-50 cans.
Yep.
It sounds
Lovely.
absolutely
All right.
terrifying.
So I don't know if you can see that little square I'm drawing right there, but that's indicating the path that I'd like to go down.
I can't. Do you want to go left or up?
Left.
Okay. All right. So, Daffy, so you start leading the group towards the left, and at the moment, well, you guys tell me unless you feel differently, but I would assume that you'd probably follow her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Daffy, you end up kind of going around this giant boulder, and as you do, a gentle current starts kind of pulling you towards the left. And the rest of the group here, you notice that Daffy starts kind of moving not of her own accord here. Sorry, I'm trying to move your tokens and talk at the same time. So you push yourself around the rock and you start heading into this dark cave, and the speed of the water is increasing and you're being pulled more and more down the tunnel. At the end of the tunnel, you spot some very jagged rocks, and many seem to have been formed into sharp points. And for the moment, we'll keep this one to just Daffy, but as you're being swept towards these spikes, you can either let it take you or try to swim against the current.
You know what? Daffy is, so go with the flow and trusting of nature that we're just gonna go with it, I guess.
Okay. All right. So you let the current take you, and for some reason all right. You let the current take you, and as you approach these spikes, you're getting closer and closer to them. Last chance. Would you like to continue or turn around or try to fight against the current?
Oh God.
Can the rest of us see those spikes?
So the rest of you, I will let you would see this. Well, actually, at this point, I would say Knobolas and Talon, you guys could probably spot the spikes at this point, and you're seeing Daffy head this way. If you want to continue to follow her, then you'll be in the same situation, which I'm not saying is a good or a bad situation, but it's up to you.
So I feel like Talon just generally doesn't like the idea of spikes. It would be trying to hold into place and pull out a rope, tie it around me, and have it so that it, if the flow is going that way, the rope would go that way also. And that would give Daffy a way out if she is going to choose. I just feel like Talon would be freaking out that there was.
Yeah, I feel like Knobolas is a lot more of like a hole guy versus a spike guy. So I also would like to.
Since we're reptiles, can we just grab on to her tail and pull her the other way?
Her tail at this point, she's left beyond where you guys would be able to grab her.
All right.
However, I would absolutely say that you would all be able to hold on to the boulder, and if you choose to stay there, that would be no problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Damn, I'm making you guys nervous.
All right.
Well, what I was going to do is
it gives you an out even if you do keep exploring. At least you'd have a rope. I don't know how far beyond the spikes it'll go, but might help you if you do need to get out.
Okay, what were you gonna say?
So with that said, I want to continue with the current.
Okay, excellent. Knobolas, what were you gonna say before we continue with that?
I was gonna try to I was gonna pull out my rod and see if I could maybe use it to kind of wedge to just to catch on to grip onto it. But
sure. Yeah, I absolutely.
Trying to pull out his knob.
I know.
I said rod, which is not much better.
So you take out your rod and you stick it into a little crevice in the rock, and you're pretty secure. I'm just gonna let that go. So Daffy, in this next bit of motion, you are currently being pushed up against these spikes. The current went faster and faster, and you are now battered against these spikes. I'd like you to make a DC 10, a dexterity saving throw, please.
You got it.
This is to see if your armor is going to save you against these spikes, or if
Oh,
Are they coming out sideways from the wall, or like?
they're all. It's basically like a big. It's not a mouth, but picture like a big mouth of just spikes, like the Sorlak. A 17. So with a 17, you're pinned up against the spikes, but your armor is helping you out here, and so currently you're not being impaled. So luckily you don't take any damage, but you are pinned up against these things. If you'd like to try to get away from them, you're gonna have to roll athletics.
So was my rope long enough to give her?
Your rope will absolutely help her to get away if that's what she's trying to do.
Okay.
I'm beginning to think I should not have followed the spikes. So I think I would like to yell to my party, be like, "Hey, someone want to toss a rope over here, please?"
Well, they can't hear you talk, but you do spot the rope kind of coming through the water, and it's disappearing in the darkness as far as you are concerned. You can't see your friends anymore, but you do see the rope. So let's say you grab it and go ahead and make another athletics athletics check for me. Let's see if you can pull yourself away from these spikes.
Would she get advantage since there's a rope to help pull her away?
Yeah.
Or could we help? Can we pull on the rope?
So let's see. Let's have her grab it first, and then it'll probably be you guys would feel her that she has tension. You can't see each other.
Oh, right. Good point.
So am I rolling with advantage?
So roll, roll athletics with advantage, please.
You got it.
So a 14. A 14 will do it, luckily, because... Okay. Damn. So you grab the rope and you start kicking and you push yourself away from the spikes and you're kind of hand over hand away from the wall. The rest of you feel her pulling on this rope. So I'm gonna have Talin, actually you were the one holding the rope at the moment. Even if other people are helping you, I'm gonna have you do a strength check and let's see how this goes. As you try to, you would have expected somebody to grab the rope. So I don't think it'll be a surprise when somebody pulls back on it. Nice.
19.
Okay. With a 19. So you both rolled well enough. We're not going to drag this one out. I'm going to say that you guys are successfully able to drag Daffy back over to the main boulder. And Daffy, you grab onto the boulder and you are currently safe. There is a hint of a current leading back down to that tunnel, but unless you swim that way, you won't be sucked down that path again. Nice job.
Never go with the flow again.
Yeah.
It's too risky.
All right.
Gotta go down the other tunnel.
Fight and rage against nature, always.
All right, so the way left to you is to the north. So if that's how you'd like to proceed,
Yeah.
we can. All right.
Let's rock and roll. Let's do it.
Okay. So you come. You all swim for another minute or so, and you come to another T intersection. The ways that you can go are to the left, straight, and to the right.
Oh, they're after.
Oh boy. Can we roll perception before we do it this time?
Sure. What are you looking for?
All right. Well, I want to look for any, like, if we can see if there's any air bubbles, sources of light, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Anything that might show us that we're getting towards an up portion.
Sure. I would say that go ahead and roll perception. Let's see. And Talon, you're in the front. Why don't you roll perception as well?
Wow. Well, I see nothing. I got a 5.
I will also say that whole business with the spikes cost a little bit of time, not a lot. So at the moment, you guys are, let's say, 6.5 minutes out of 15 of no air. So, Talin 11, Agnomeio a 5. Talin, you're not confident, but you think you see a slight glow to the left, but it's hard to tell. It could just be light, it could be bioluminescence, it could just be shadows.
Can crocodiles smell underwater?
So we did look this up, and I remember after we talked about it that one time. So crocodiles, just like fish, actually have a good underwater sense of smell, which is the opposite of what I had said that one episode. So I got to learn something. But what they can smell typically is like dead, something to scavenge.
Right. Okay, so Booker probably wouldn't be able to figure out. So you said towards the left I see a light?
I said you think you see a light? You're not sure.
Right.
It's if you do, it would be very far in the distance.
Okay. Talon's just... We're in a hurry and taking the route that looks slightly promising, so she just immediately starts swimming a little bit to the left. Is the current crazy or anything?
So let's hold here for just 1 second. Let's decide on which order you all are actually in. So obviously at this point, Talon, since you just took the lead, we'll have you in the lead. Who'd like to be behind Talon, and tell me how you guys are going.
I can be next.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll be next as well.
Okay. Should we just go in?
Just so we're already in.
Go ahead,
I'll
Alessio.
round out the back.
Okay, cool. So we'll go in the order.
Still out and tied, so if like the last person wants to like hold on to that in case we do get into trouble and need to stop ourselves somehow.
Okay, so
I might
what is the rope tied to? Is it tied to that rock or is it tied to you?
No, I don't. It's tied to me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tied to me, and then the other end somebody would be holding on to, not tying it.
Okay. So you guys basically
brace ourselves at the junction, kind of.
Right. Yeah. In case. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you going by yourself first, Talon, or is everybody going with you?
Yeah, I think people can follow along.
I'll go with her. I'll keep going.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll go with that. So Talon, so you start kind of heading down this next cave here. As you're looking around, you're seeing some little fauna on the ground. There's little transparent crayfish, little crabs. They're all transparent. They've got that cave look to them. And there's little vegetation which is growing despite any sort of sense of light here. But in general, it's pretty barren. It's rock, though. It's not soil on the ground. So it's definitely just a rocky cave that somehow vegetation's growing out of. But in front of you, there is a fork in the tunnel. And it goes to the left and it goes to the right.
Freaking place is so annoying.
Good.
Okay, so can I do another perception roll?
Yep. So what are you looking for here? Same kind of thing?
Same kind of thing. Any kind of hint towards if one might be a better or worse option.
Sure. Go ahead and roll perception for me.
Ooh.
So with an 18.
18.
There you go.
So you do in fact see a glow, and it's coming to the fork on the left.
Okay. Alan goes swimming to the left. Booker is following behind. He just keeps running the walls. Don't mind that.
Sure. And presumably, unless anybody says otherwise, I will assume that you are all basically on her tail. Okay. So cool. So let's go ahead and... So you swim through a long tunnel, and you notice that there is coral in this stretch of the cave. It's beautiful. There's brain coral, fan coral, tube, and branch coral. So many different colors, all muted by the darkness of the cave. So go ahead and make a... let's... Actually, so I'll kind of drag you ahead here. So you can all kind of catch up to her if that's okay. So as you turn a corner, you notice that... Or actually, roll perception for me, please.
Oh. Sorry.
All of us roll perception?
Just Talon for the moment.
Oh, okay.
Really?
So, all right. So with a 3.
4.
Let's... Oh, 4. Sorry. That's okay. All right. So mostly what you're seeing here is coral. It seems to have changed in shape and size a bit, but it's still nothing terribly, out of the ordinary from what you've just seen from the last 50 feet or so. As a note, you guys are now at about 7.5 minutes. All right. So you would you like to continue?
Does it look like a dead end, or it looks like...
So, it continues to go around the corner.
Okay. Can I do a nature check to see if I know that coral would generally be in like shallower waters and might indicate
Sure.
we're getting towards.
Yep, I like that.
Okay, come on, do better than a 4. A 9.
A 9. All right. Are you proficient in nature? You're not. Let's see. So Knobolas is directly.
Can I try?
Well, you're not close is the problem. I'm just I'm looking to see if Knobolas is. So let's continue. Yeah, you're not. So is anybody other than Daffy proficient in nature?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
And Daffy, you definitely are, correct?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a +2 for that.
All right, you're half proficient. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's any of you that would just naturally know anything from underwater, and I don't believe so.
I mean, I'm a +1 in nature. That's not really proficient, though, right?
Correct. Yep. So, all right. So you continue to go over the coral here. Well, you tell me. I mean, at this point, you're still. Yep.
Yeah.
Coral tends to be pretty.
Dangerous. Don't
sharp
touch it.
and dangerous.
Don't touch it.
So I would think I'm like swimming around it, but kind of slowed down and more careful now, even though I know.
Sure. All right. Go ahead and roll a dexterity saving throw for me then, since you said that you're trying to specifically be not touching it.
How did I do this?
Oh, nice.
Ooh, 20 total.
Right. A 20. And I'll do the same thing. Since you're all following her, why don't you all roll dexterity saving throws?
What if instead of not trying to touch it, I just take my rapier and I'm just like clear and brush, just.
Can I go ahead and go ahead of him before he does that?
Well, so do you have a way of communicating this without words to the people behind you?
I'm just gonna hold up my rapier with my fish skewered on it and be like wave it like yeah.
All right.
No.
I'm not a fan of that.
Sounds dangerous,
all right.
my brother and rapier.
Well, no, I
Sounds like
you want me to
traveling
do
with
it, but I'd
another.
like to do my dexterity check first and try to get out of the way.
That's fair. Yeah, okay.
Well,
Like I'll wave you ahead. I'll be like, come on.
all right. So you're gonna let other people go ahead of you before you do this? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then let's do this. So Talon, I'm gonna move you up a little bit. So Knobolas, go ahead and roll your dexterity saving throw, and then Alessio do one as well as Daffy, and then we'll handle Agnomeio.
Shoot, 12.
All right. Let's keep going. Alessio, Daffy.
Oh, I still got an 11 somehow.
Okay. And an 11. All right. So Knobolas got a 12, Alessio 11, Daffy 11, and Talon got a 20. So Talon, you are safe. However, the other three of you. So now I'm committing you to what you said that you would do, Ed, but we'll get to you in a moment. So the darkness of the area of this water causes your legs to brush up against some of the coral, and you feel a sting in your leg and instinctively retract it. But now your legs feel like they're on fire. Pain shoots up your sides and back down to your feet. I'd like the three of you to please roll Constitution saving throws.
Wait, can't someone just pee on someone else and that takes care of
We're
it?
underwater. Where's the pee
Are
gonna
these
go?
jellyfish?
Yeah, where's the pee gonna go?
Just pee your pants, everyone, and hope it
Everybody
trickles
pee.
down.
Quick, everybody pee.
Start peeing.
All right, so Knobolas got a 10.
Is it the coral that's glowing? Is that what was causing the original glow that I saw?
It is. So it's a bit of a red glow. All right, so
We should have turned around as soon as we saw the coral.
well, we'll see. So Knobolas and Alessio, you are both going to take. You're not going to like this. 2d10 damage, which is going to be 18 points of damage. And you are envenomed by the fire coral. You are not poisoned, however, so you do not have the poisoned effect. Now, Actually, you guys are going to like this because Agnomeio's insanity is about to save your asses. As he is sweeping the fire coral, let's just make a dexterity saving throw for you as well, Agnomeio.
Sure.
I'm going to give you advantage because you're purposely kind of knocking these out of the way.
He's a dex, yeah?
Dex saving throw, yep.
Yes, sir.
22. No problem. So your rapier is kind of built for fighting underwater, and actually, at one point, one of the branches of the fire. At one point, one of the fire branch corals actually starts coming towards you very slowly, but the fish that's still on your rapier just kind of bounces off of it. So, all right. So you managed to avoid this. However, as you are sweeping, you see something different than the rest of the fire coral. It's growing underneath the fire coral, and it's completely black. And you know this to be black coral. However, black coral typically only grows within areas of immense pressure, and it really is strange that it's here. But if you collect it, you could sell it as basically as a gem worth a very large amount of gold.
Hey, all right, yeah. Give me some coral. I love coral.
Okay.
Favorite thing.
So you're gonna reach out to try to pick it up, and you notice that the water around the coral feels considerably colder than where you currently are. Do you continue?
Yes. Yes,
okay.
I do.
All right. So your hand starts to feel very strange, as if it's being squeezed really tightly, and you start moving further towards the coral. I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Oh boy.
You don't have any long grabber hands in your backpack?
Well,
21.
With a 21. So the space surrounding this black coral, there's something up with it, and you think better of it, and although you do still collect it, you manage to use your rapier rather than reaching with your hand, which probably saves you a lot. So very good roll. Okay. Excellent. So at the moment, I'm going to consider this path cleared of fire coral for your trek back, and you can continue down this path if you'd like.
I can't see anything, so I'm just going to follow you guys. I can't see anything ahead of us. So
I feel like I see something. I don't know if it's my dark vision or not, but I feel like I see something at the end of the tunnel. Something green and maybe glowing as well.
What are you doing, Tylin?
Anybody?
You're in the front.
Can I do a perception check?
I see friggin' land.
You can do it. Actually, you don't need a perception check. So I'll tell you what you see, and then you can decide what you'd like to do.
Okay,
so
yeah.
You, in front of you, you see a slab of rock with about 3 feet of headspace and air on the other side.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So if you choose to, you wouldn't have to be on your belly, but you probably would crawl. It wouldn't really be tall enough to stand up. If you wanted to go on
We'd
the
at least
land.
be able to restart our 15-minute, catch our breath and restart our 15-minute timer, at least with that.
All right. So I'll say that you go like a seal and you belly up on the sandbar here, or the cave.
Are there any
floor.
polar bears waiting for us?
There are no polar bears, but what you do see in front of you is a fist-sized emerald. That this is a very large and also, oddly enough, pre-cut large emerald that you wager to be worth about 1,000 gold pieces.
Oh shit!
It's mine.
I led the way, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick that sucker up.
Okay.
Put it in my safety pouch.
Now
I'm sorry, guys. You know how I feel about emeralds. Daffy's color is green. It's gotta be mine.
It's true. That is true.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that all 5 of you, including Booker, actually, so 6 of you, managed to get your way over to this little sandbar and take some big breaths of air. So your timer has restarted at 15 minutes. Okay, and Talin, you can add to your inventory large emerald and just, I have what it's worth, but you could write 1,000 gold if you want to. Okay, so you were able to clear out... Sorry, I thought somebody was saying something. You were able to clear out the danger in this area, so I'm gonna just say you can all make your way back to where that previous fork was.
Okay.
All right. And then at this point, let's say Agnomeio and Knobolas, which one of you two would like to go first? Or Alessio, I'm sorry, you haven't had a chance either. The three of you can kind of communicate with each other and decide who would like to take point.
Yeah, Talon's feeling pretty dumb.
I was like, who all got hurt right there? I got hurt, so I don't want to be in front anymore.
I'm at 95% health, so I'm good. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I would also
go for it. I got bit by a coral.
Yeah,
here lies Alessio. He got bit by a coral.
I'm ready and rearing to go. So let's head down this other path.
Okay. So back at the previous fork in the cave, again, you guys are all back under the water. So once again, can't talk, can't breathe. Takes you about a minute and a half to get back to this point, and you head up to the north. Now, in this area, you continue under the water, spotting more of the translucent crayfish that you saw in the anemone room and previously in this tunnel as well. They scurry about, seemingly having no eyes. You notice one of them ejects a long tube from its mouth and latches onto a crab, dragging it back to itself before crushing the crab in its claws and feeding on it. At the end of this cave, you see that the water breaks and there is an open cavern above you. Would you like to surface again?
Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
Sure.
Okay. So the five of you find your way on land, and you find a rocky beach of sorts. There's small rocks and debris littering the ground, but also bones, many bones. Rib cages, femurs, even a couple of skulls. All of them appear to have been melted to various degrees.
Did you say melted?
Melted bone.
That is not a good sign.
Oh.
So
There's a dragon.
Dragon anyone? Dragon anyone? Dragon?
Like underwater?
Well, this room that you're in is very small. However, the ceiling is very tall. You do see above you, you see some stalactites kind of hanging, but this room itself is only about 10 feet wide at any given point. Agnomeio, I'd like you to roll a perception check for me.
Yeah. Uh, 17.
A 17. So as you kind of peer up, you notice these stalactites, and you could tell, actually, they're, although I'm sure you guys expect this, the stalactites appear to be pretty solid. Like, you don't necessarily think they're going to fall down on your head at any given point. And that's what you see.
But there's no, it doesn't look like there's any holes in the cavern ceiling. Like, we're still, there's no way out. Basically.
Not that you could see. No, as you look up, you see, so I mean, you're looking at the ceiling, you see darkness and stalactites kind of coming out of the darkness, and you could kind of see the ceiling. It doesn't just go on forever. Yeah. But, yeah.
Okay.
You also note, just one more thing to note, there's a slight waterfall over to your right that seems to be coming out of the wall. The spot that the water's coming out of is not very big. Probably about the size of, I don't know, maybe about 3 or 4 feet in diameter or so. The water's rushing out of it pretty fast. You don't imagine that you could climb into it.
All right. Well, I don't know about you guys, but melty bones, not usually the best side.
Agreed.
Generally.
Yep.
Smart.
Although me and Booker are playing touch with some melty bones.
Some of the melty bones.
Oh, y'all are deciding.
Yeah.
Booker's unbothered.
Yeah. The bones are a little spicy. So. All right.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
Maybe we head back up the cavern and try the northerly route.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So at this point, Knobolas and Alessio, I'd like you to discuss who would like to go first.
Have we taken every wrong way possible so far? I think.
I wouldn't say you've taken any wrong ways.
I'll go first this time.
Bill, you're welcome for putting your map to use.
Yeah, that's true. I would have been sad if you guys took all the right turns. So, been like, and it's a night.
I'll go first this time. Let's do it.
All right, Alessio. So you're going to go first. Who's going to be? Tell me your marching order here. So Alessio first.
I'll go second. I'll go second. I'll follow.
All right. So I'll just.
After that.
I'm going to drag you guys a little bit. Oops. All right, and then Talon and Daffy. Who's going to be in the rear?
I will, just because I can't be trusted with anything tonight.
Okay. All right. All right. So Alessio, lead the way.
All right, so we're gonna take that northern. That's the one we haven't done yet, right?
So basically, you head back out to the fork, and the way that you would want to go is to the right, and then kind of back out to that three-way intersection.
All right, so I'm going towards the three-way.
Mm-hmm.
There's a honey in the middle. There's a leeway.
My head's in the same way.
You know, you were all singing it.
Yes.
That's right.
All right. So the four of you go off. However, at the moment, Daffy is still back in the room because something's going on. The rest of you do not know this yet. So, Daffy, you are currently... Hold on one sec. Let me just click a button. Whoops. Where is this? There it is. All right. So, Daffy, I'd like you to make a make a strength saving throw, please.
Oh, Daffy.
Great. Okay.
Okay. So you do manage to... So what happens here is from above you, something kind of comes out of the darkness. And a long tendril shoots from its mouth, and it sticks to the bottom of your boot. Or not the bottom of your... like your ankle. However, you notice this right away, and you shake it, and you get your foot free. What would you like to do?
I'd like to yell, "Nobody sticks to Das Boot." I mean, that's terrible. I want to get away. I want to catch up to the rest of the group.
Okay. So you're diving in the water? Like, you're running?
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, if there's melted bones all around me, I don't trust this scenario at all.
Okay. Excellent. So as you run for the water, you kind of look behind you and you see this tendril kind of retract back into the darkness. Okay. And you catch up to the rest of the group.
Phew.
All right. So you guys can continue kind of moving your characters around. You said that your choices at this point of ways that you have not gone are to the north, to kind of you would be able to see it's a bit of a smaller room, but it does open up, and then to the right, which is a long, dark tunnel that you cannot see the end of.
All right, I'm going forward, and I'm going to reach out and grab this this corner right here on the wall, and whip myself to go up north.
Okay. Cool.
Make a sharp left. I reach my hand out, grab onto the wall so I could pivot up north.
Cool. In a slingshot maneuver, you whip around the corner, and
yes.
You quickly slow down because you're still underwater, but it looked really good for a second. And actually,
good for a minute.
I'll even say your feet disappeared around the corner from everybody's view before you slowed down. So as far as they know, you looked real cool. All right. So
better than my swan dive belly flop.
I'd like to use a free action to think about how cool Alessio is.
Anytime. All right. So Alessio, we'll go with you. Are the rest of you all following him as typical, or are you so in awe of his move that you're staying at the junction?
I'm following.
Coming along.
All right.
It's dark.
Cool. So this is another room this is probably about a 40-foot wide room, about 20 feet deep, and the water itself goes a little bit deep too. Nothing outrageous, but in general, it's just kind of like a big open room, and there is another kind of stony spot that you can climb out of the water.
Okay.
If you so choose.
And we don't see anything. Nothing
under the water. It's actually this room is particularly barren.
There's nothing here. So nothing on the walls.
Well, answer me the question. Are you coming out of the water or no?
I'm coming out of the water onto the little sandy beach area.
Okay. So this room is completely dark.
Oh.
So one of you is actually causing like somehow
Probably
you guys.
Me.
Yeah.
It has me running into every wall possible.
One makes it bright.
I'm wondering if maybe you have like a what do you call it? Like a torch lit or something. But whatever, that's okay. Either way, this room is completely dark. As you climb up onto the stone, even with your dark vision, you are having a very hard time seeing anything. You do hear the sound of rushing water as you see another waterfall about the same size as the other one rushing into this room. And then, kind of causing the current to flow back out of this room.
Do we see any melted bones?
There are no melted bones in here at all, and the ceiling looks a bit different than the previous room. Although it is high, there are no stalagmites, or stalactites, sorry. Promised myself I wasn't going to get that wrong.
I'll light up a torch, see if we can't see anything up or around.
All right. Light her up.
All right, so you light up a torch. Actually, this room illuminates, and as you look up, you can see that there is, in fact, a hole in the ceiling. It's coming from the side, and it's pretty large.
Ooh,
a hole.
How far up?
You would be able to, well, so the answer to your question is about 20 feet up. The walls are jagged enough to potentially climb, or there's potentially other ways to get up there if that was what you chose to do, but... I'm not hinting.
Oh, yeah.
I just realized I kind of didn't
shit.
describe that.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know I love a good climb.
All right. So, given that you're over the water and such, I'm just gonna kind of let the climb happen. Because even if you fell, you'd fall in the water. You'll be okay. So, Agnomeio, you're climbing up this wall and peeking into the hole. Is that the idea?
That is the idea.
Okay. Is anybody else following you?
I'm climbing too. Alessio's got some pretty decent athletic skills, so I feel like he could go up just to help him out.
Okay. And then Knobolas, you raised your hand as well.
As I said earlier, Knobolas never turns down a good hole, so.
Fair enough. All right, so Talon and Daffy, are you guys hanging at the bottom, or are you climbing as well?
I kind of want to climb also. But I don't know, maybe a couple of us should wait.
Everyone's climbing and I'm left.
Get their back.
I was gonna say,
I'll stay with Daffy.
I'm okay with being
Daffy,
only
yeah.
days.
Okay,
well, we'll yell down if it leads up to anywhere.
Okay. All right, so
Sounds
the three gentlemen here are going to be climbing up the wall in order of Agnomeio, and then Alessio, and then Knobolas. So, Agnomeio, you climb up to the hole. You peer inside. It is completely dark. Are you going in?
Can I push the torch that I have in a little ways?
Yes, you can. So you slide the torch. Let's say you slide it a good 10 feet. And it does light up the inside. And the inside of this cave is pretty smooth. Not like crazy, not like polished, but something definitely moves around in here.
Oh. Right. So something made this hole.
Mm-hmm. Actually, okay. So let me pause you for 1 second, and I realize this may be giving something away, or it seemed that way, but it may or may not. So just take that for what it's worth. Daffy, I feel like you probably would have said something when you got out of the water about, or maybe not, about what happened to you in the previous room. It's up to you.
Yeah. No, of course I would have told them.
In the future, I may very well just. If you don't say anything, you don't say anything, but I figured I'd remind you. All right, so you tell them that something tried to get your boot, or what are you telling them?
I'm going to say, hey guys, there was something that just appeared out of nowhere in the darkness, and it was really strong, and it grabbed a hold of my ankle, so just watch out, be careful.
That would have been great to know before we went up this hole.
Well, you're third in line. You could always change your mind.
Can I ask Daffy while we're waiting if that whole, her being a nature expert looks like any kind of critter she's ever, like it's made from some critter?
You would have no idea what would make a hole like that.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say I'm usually willing to crawl into some tight places and do some dumb stuff, but I'm just worried there's some sort of giant bug back there, and Agnomeio don't do giant bugs.
You are big right now, though. You're taller than normal.
That is a good point. I am rather big.
Yeah.
But still, I think my innate gnomish fear of giant centipedes. I'm not feeling this one. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh God, is it a centipede? I do not do centipedes.
Are you coming back down? I'll keep that in mind.
No, I will at least move up to where the torch is and see if I can't shove it along a little farther.
All right. So you move up to where the torch is. You grab it. You slide it forward another 10 feet. And what you see is a very large, translucent, scorpion-looking bug. It is larger than you, and it shoots this filament out towards you. And let's
I should.
let's see if it hits. Actually, make a dexterity saving throw for me. I'm sorry, not dexterity. Strength saving throw, please.
Strength saving throw, you got it.
Yes.
Oh, I'm good at those. Thank God. Ooh, come on, baby.
He is good at those.
Okay.
24.
So this filament shoots out towards you, and you instinctively block yourself with your rapier, and it grabs the fish and rips it back towards itself. The fish tears away from your rapier, and you see it retract back into this creature's mouth. What are you doing?
I am going to let out a very, very undignified, very unheroic, and just turn and just crawl as fast as I can. Like my legs and arms are just whipping.
Excellent. So it takes a second to kind of snack on this fish here. However, it does see you, and it starts kind of running towards you. Sorry, I was letting the sound effect play because it sounds great. I'm going to say it's going to make one more attack at you before you go flying out of this hole. So make one more strength saving throw, please.
Okay.
You have to beat a 13.
20.
20 will do it.
Yeah, I'm good at strength. That's one thing I'm good at.
No problem. All right, so this thing, it shoots its filament. You all see Agnomeio go tumbling out of the hole and splash down into the water, and you see this filament kind of shoot out of the hole past where he was, and then it kind of falls down, and then you see it sliding back up the rock face back into the hole. Alessio, you are the closest. What are you doing?
Friggin' A. I mean, if I see Agnomeio scream, I'm getting the hell out of there.
All right, cool. So you all, I'll assume you kind of all just jump back down. Are you staying in this?
Just like literally dropping in back to the water. Get the hell out of here. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so I would say I'll shut up. You guys talk to each other.
So we drop back in the water, just look at everybody. Scorpion! 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 Let's go!
Man, the last time this happened, I got left in a pit with a giant spider. So my ass is gone. I'm not even waiting. I'm not even waiting to hear what you guys have to say.
Agnomeio already found the
underwater.
Helen is just standing there very confused, not knowing what Agnomeio's problem is.
All right, back in the water.
So there's nothing else here. Like we'd already looked around down at the bottom. That was it.
Correct.
We have to go. Unfortunately, we have to now. Agnomeio has to lead us down the deep, dark cave where there's no end in sight.
Any other paths to take?
Wait. That sounds like a job for Knobolas. Come on.
I mean, hey, I'll go. I'll do it.
All right, Knobolas.
Y'all have led us all in the most horrible direction so far, so I think Knobolas has to end this once for all.
This is true.
Make sure now you have your rod ready.
My rod is always ready.
So as you guys are making your dignified retreat, you'll remember that Yona had told you about a creature that lives in the cave called Widabra Sonique, which is the darkness that eats. And you suspect that may very well be a fitting name for this creature. So, and maybe you should... So, that's a thing.
I don't call it that. I call it scary-ass big scorpion.
That's fair.
I don't like it. I don't like
All right.
Don't lie.
So let's say you all head down this last tunnel here. Again, completely dark inside here. Actually, who has the torch on? I think it was Agnomeio. Or maybe you never actually lit one. It doesn't matter. Either way. So
I lit one, but I left it in the hole.
Oh, that's true. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so you all are heading down this last tunnel here, and as you get to the end, it is actually kind of like a flat surface of a wall. You could see that water is rushing below. Let me describe this better. So in front of you, there is a blank, kind of almost flat rock. And below the rock is an area that's probably big enough to squeeze through, maybe. And the water seems to be rushing through that. If you put your hand down there, you'll feel a current and such. Air is currently not an issue for you guys because you just breathed.
Just refreshed.
Are any of us small enough to like easily fit through it?
Easily, no. I would say it's going to take a little bit of time. It would probably be doable if you were trying to squeeze through.
I'm looking at this green mushroom in my backpack. I'm like, does it make me shrink? But I'm like, no, I'm not going to risk that right now. But no.
No reaction.
What do you guys want to do?
Just go forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've explored every other
Yeah,
route.
we gotta go. We have to, in true Dungeons and Drams fashion for us, the last path is the one that's right.
I'll take that as a compliment. Excellent. All right, so you all take. It takes you guys a few minutes, and it's a tight squeeze. There are a couple of points where you actually are basically trapped underwater, completely sandwiched between this rock and the ground, and your body stops moving. But because you have your friends there to help you push, pull, you're all able to get through. So let me drag you kind of through here. All right. Meanwhile, Booker actually just kind of slips through, no problem. He's a good size. So, all right. So the door opens, or not the door, but you kind of come out into this large cavern. It's actually very large. And just do me a favor. Actually, I'll pause it. So, so you pass through the arch, and sorry, let me start over. You go through underneath this rock, and above you is a big arch that actually is made of, what's the word? Stone. That's shaped stone, I guess. And it's clearly created, it's made. And the water is dripping down from this. There's kind of moss and vines hanging from it, and your nose is immediately, as you come above the water, your nose is immediately assaulted with the most vile smell that you could possibly imagine. It smells like turned milk and rotting sourdough. The room is completely dark, save for two sconces burning on either side of a massive stone door, again covered with moss and other vegetation. The door looks incredibly heavy and has a relief carved into it, which you can't really make out from here, but it does appear to be circular. Around the room, in front of you, you see several braziers, but none of them are lit. The smell, though, it makes you long for the demons that you once met in Alewith Harbor. As you walk in, you see two bodies of lizard folk in the middle of the room, and they appear to have been skinned and partially eaten.
Oh dear Lord! This is some.
That seems unnecessary.
This is some predator shit. Get to the chapel. Do it now. Get to the chapel. I heard a little salt in there.
A little bit. Molly was making, after many drinks, Molly was making me do like all of my voices the other day.
Oh, poor Salt. I miss him.
It was appropriate because you were playing D&D.
Oh, totally. Yes. Yep. All right. So, what are you all doing? Standing in the middle of this vile-smelling room, a couple of dead bodies in front of you.
So we got a big old snake statue over here, yeah?
Yeah, I see that. Where's our bunch of unlit sconces that maybe we should think about lighting?
Well, I was just thinking, do you guys remember back in Alewith Harbor? Or, excuse me, do you remember back at Alewith Harbor? We went into that little cave, There are many similar statues to this, no? What was that vision you had, Daffy? There was something to do with the snakes. I want to go look at this statue real quick. Oh,
yeah. I would.
Yeah.
No.
Is
I think we should.
Maybe a quick investigation real quick before we just go touching things.
Fine.
That's fair.
Alessio, you're like grabbing me by the scruff of my neck, like, hey,
like, hey, just relax. There's skinned bodies in here. This isn't like, this isn't like the regular shit we run into. There's a skinned bodies in here. I don't want to end up like that. Let's just take maybe a little investigatory look-see before we start poking the eyes of snake statues.
Can I do a?
I knew it. Sorry, let me pause for 1 sec. So I knew it, Talon. You had a lit torch. That was what was causing all the light. So I turned off your torch. So what you're seeing now is actually what you're supposed to be seeing. That was why a lot of you guys couldn't see really with the dark vision, is because the light was screwing everything up. So that's okay. That was my fault for not seeing it.
It works underwater.
Totally did. It was magical. All right. So I'm sorry to interrupt you. What would you like to do?
I was wondering if I could do a history check to see if I know anything about like the reliefs that are on the. You said there was like a circular thing with a relief, or about these statues.
Yes. Okay. So the relief on the large door. So what you see as you get a little closer, and let me just ask you, are you guys staying in the dark, or would you like to light a torch? Because it will impact your perception checks.
I would think we
light
would
a damn
one.
torch.
I would light a torch.
Yeah, I would definitely light a torch. Yeah.
Okay. So who is going to light a torch?
Well.
Okay.
I was being annoying to
Of course, you just now put a torch out, and when she actually needs to light it.
So for all of you to know, if you right-click on your character, on the top left there's a little icon that looks like a little fire. If you click that, it will light a torch for you and consume one of your torches. So it's just a little easy thing for you. You also obviously don't all have to use it, but if you need to light one. Okay. So I'll just take care of that for you, Talon. All right. So as you light the torch, you actually notice in this room there are 5 sorry, I'm trying to select them. There are several people or creatures hiding in the shadows, which of course I can't friggin' make visible. There we go. And they are currently surrounding you. These creatures are salamander-esque in appearance. They look very hungry, very sharp teeth, and they are absolutely looking at you. And I'd like you all to roll initiative.
Here we go.
Oh, dude.
That does make sense.
I never saw the relief, huh?
You did not have a chance.
Don't
Why do
worry,
I always forget
it's
how
a
to do
relief.
this?
It was really ugly.
If you just open your attributes and click in I.
Yep. Oh, I didn't put you guys into combat. That's probably why.
UNITY.
That's a Unity.
That's a Unity.
That's such a good song.
All right, let's get some battle music going here.
Mm.
Do I roll 1 for Booker? I felt like I asked.
You do not.
Every single time. Okay.
Nope, he goes on your turn as part of your bonus action for the most part.
Okay, that's right.
All right, so Talon, because you asked prior to everything starting, I will give you something about the door. On the door, as soon as you light up the torch, you are looking at the door, and the first thing that you see is a relief cut into the stone of a giant snake that's essentially eating its tail. It's in a big circle, and it's got these huge jaws, and it's eating its tail. In the center is a cutout of Dimidium, and the land masses in Dimidium look completely different than what you know the world to look like today. All of the land masses are in one giant landmass.
Oh. Like Pangea.
So, Talon, you're up first.
Oh shit, I'm trying to see who all is near me. So I'm gonna go target this guy who's closest to me.
Okay.
I'm just gonna run up to. The game is still paused.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yep, there we go. Like, it's not letting me do anything. So I'm gonna run up to him and stab him with my short sword.
Okay, go for it.
I'll leave it short. I will do that.
All right.
Okay, that's a 15.
A 15 will hit.
15 hit. Yes.
All right, so go ahead and roll damage.
And for damage, he's gonna take 5.
5 damage. All right, so you come up to this this creature, the subterranean. It looks very similar in a lot of ways to the creature you just saw in the walls, where it has these black eyes, kind of this translucent skin. As I mentioned, it looks kind of like a salamander, except with like the slightest hint of segmentation to its body. And you stab it. So
obviously, I'm Puerto
clearly.
Rican. That's what we do.
Stab. All right, and you do five damage to it by swiping it across its chest. All right. Anything else?
So I believe I get 2 actions, right, and then a bonus action.
So I believe
For some reason, my person gets 2 attacks.
I'd have to double check.
It's been so long since
Yeah, you get
you
get an action, and then you could typically command Booker with your bonus action. I believe is how that works. I'm gonna look if you'd like to do something with Booker while I go check out your character real quick.
Okay.
That would be fine.
Yeah, Booker is definitely joining in on this.
Mm-hmm.
Same guy, obviously.
Okay. So Booker's gonna waddle up and make a bite attack?
He's gonna very quickly waddle up. I'll have you know.
You do.
It is a quick waddle, but yes, he is doing them all.
Yeah. All right. So you do have 2 attacks per action.
Okay, I thought so.
I thought so too, but I wasn't confident, and I had called that wrong with Alessio the other day, so that's fine.
So he rolled an 18, so I already know that hits.
All right, so that definitely hits.
And he does another 5 damage.
Another 5 damage.
So it's
all right.
a total of 10.
So you run up, you swipe at him with your short sword. Booker waddles up very quickly, apparently, and he bites him on the leg. Now, it's at this moment that you notice behind this troglodyte, you see a giant chasm and you kind of look behind you and you see another one on the other side. This chasm is filled with razor-sharp rocks and leads down into something that you can't see the bottom of. And this is on both the north and the south side of this whole platform that you're standing on.
So, as a maybe athletics check, could I try to twirl with my tail and knock him into the chasm with my tail?
As much as I'd love to rule a cool that would be enough of an action to constitute a real action. But keep that in mind for next turn.
Right. No, but that would be my second action. So
you didn't? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you already took it.
Right, yeah.
You're right. 100%.
Yeah.
Do it. Yes. So make a shove attack, which is it's basically going to be you know what? Make an unarmored attack. Let's do that. Or, sorry, unarmed attack. We'll do that.
Is that in features?
I can't talk.
No. Okay, sorry. I thought
It's
it
under
would be
your
in
inventory.
Features. Just unarmed strike. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. Boop-a-doop.
All right. No problem.
22.
With a 22, so you spin around, you swipe him with your tail. He goes knocked back, and he tumbles backwards down into this ravine. About a second goes by before you hear a splash, and he disappears.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Up next is another troglodyte. So this troglodyte on the top right, he's going to come charging out of the darkness towards you, Knobolas. He's not going to quite be able to make it, unfortunately. That's too bad. But, yeah, that'll be it. Okay, Daffy, you are up, and Alessio, you're on deck.
Okay. I would like to get a green mushroom from my inventory and snack on that real quick.
Okay.
I was looking at that, but remember, if you eat that, all attacks against you also get advantage.
I'm feeling dangerous tonight.
Oh yeah, that's why she got that Nintendo 64 shirt on. I love it.
All right. So these little mushrooms are small enough that I'll consider it a bonus action to eat it. So you pop this little bad boy in your mouth, and for anybody at home, once you ingest this, your attacks for the next 3 rounds will be with advantage, but any attacks against you will also be made with advantage as well. If it's unused, then it wears off in 5 minutes. So, what are you doing?
I would like to charge up to this one that just ran towards Knobolas.
Okay.
So get right up next to him.
Right.
If I can move my token.
I'll move it for you. I'm not sure why.
Please.
Yep.
I always have trouble with that. All right. And I can still take an action against him, correct?
Absolutely. In fact, I think you get 2.
All right.
Or, well, you get 2 attacks.
Perfect.
Your action, yeah.
Yep. I'll use my short sword.
Okay.
So attacking with advantage.
All right, so that'll definitely hit. 19. Okay, so go ahead and roll damage.
Eight.
All right, an 8. So you do 8 points of damage. Okay. He's still up and kicking.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right, I'll just hit him again.
All right, go for it. All right, a 13 will still hit. These guys are very easy to hit.
Oh, good.
How much damage?
And that's going to be...
All right, 8 damage.
Another 8.
So you swipe at him twice, and he drops to the ground. His skin actually just based off, it's a little like slick, and as you split it open, it just it's like erupting with all this goo from inside, and you could see it's disgusting, and he falls to the ground.
Is that what's causing the smell? Can I tell if that's why it stinks in here or no?
These creatures are absolutely what is causing the smell.
Oh, okay. Ew.
In fact, as you look closer, you see like pieces of just rotting flesh in his mouth, and he seems to be covered in mud, maybe? Not sure. Anything else you'd like to do?
Mud, maybe?
Maybe it's
I know. What does that mean?
Well, something that looks like mud and smells bad.
I'm good with that for my turn.
Excellent. Alessio, you're up.
All right. I am also going to ingest the green mushroom.
Okay. Knobolas, you're on deck.
Actually, you know what? I'm not, because these guys, like you said, they're kind of easy to hit. So I'll save it for maybe if we have to fight that fucking dragon that I'm sure is waiting for us to die.
Never say out loud that something's easy to hit.
That melts. I know. He never ever says that. So now that I know that, I'm just going to save my mushroom. All right. I'm going to get a little closer here. Since I'm a little bit beat up, I'm going to use my short bow to attack the dude up near the snake.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, go for it.
Attack roll. 14.
14 will hit.
All right. And then I gotta roll damage.
Mm-hmm. Damage. All right, 5.
Oh.
All right, so 5. So he, you shoot, and he takes the arrow takes an arrow to the knee. His adventuring days are over.
To the knee. Oh, all right. Well, he'll never walk again, but okay.
He'll just become a
guard. A guard of Whiterun.
Guard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whines about it all the time.
All the time. All right. Anything else? I believe that is probably. I think you only have the one
That's it.
attack.
I don't.
correct?
Yeah, I don't have 3 hits like everybody else does. I don't know why. But
Yeah.
Me neither.
All right. So, well, you have 2 Knobolas.
I
All
have
right.
2. You're right. Yeah, I
All right.
forget
So
about that.
Knobolas, you're up, and Agnomeio, you're on deck.
Thank you for the reminder that I get 2. That actually helps what I want to do. Okay, so I see these 2 big boys over here on the right side, standing near the edge.
Okay.
You know, I remember that my Eldritch Blast has the upgraded ability to push creatures up to 10 feet if it hits them.
I believe
So
that's true.
I like what I saw earlier of seeing the one tumble to his death. So I think I'd like to shoot 1 ray each at these 2 over here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go for this guy first. Forget how. Come on.
So hit T, yeah, exactly. So you click
Well, I
on
thought
him,
that was
hit T, and then you use your spell.
This is where I always mess up because I target myself accidentally, but I'm just not going to target him. Hopefully
That's okay.
it'll be clear.
Yep.
All right, so let's go ahead and use it on the first one closest to me. I'll attack him first.
All right. Eldritch Blast.
18.
So the first
6
one
down.
hits for sure, and it does 6 points of damage, and you said it pushes him back 10 feet,
Yes, 10 feet.
which is, so let's see, he's going to make a, what would that be? Probably a strength saving throw. No, dexterity saving throw I'll go with, to see if he falls off.
Oof.
He does not. So he does, however, he does get pushed back 10 feet, but he is clinging to the edge. So he's going to have to use half of his movement in order to get back up to the top. But he's also out of your ability to hit him at this point. He's basically full cover.
His finger is just grabbing the edge.
If you would like to do that, I will let you do that, but it will be a higher AC. Like it'll be a hard hit, but it will absolutely happen if
That'd be
you
really
roll.
cool, though.
Tell me if you want to do it, and I'll let you know what it'll be.
I'll do it.
Okay, so his normal AC is 11. We're gonna add 5 to that, so you got to hit 16.
16 and okay.
Yep. So if you
Let's
hit
go
16, you're gonna blow away his little fingies, and he's gonna go tumbling.
What about 27? How does that?
Well-
oh damn!
Well, not only will a 27 hit, but the 14 damage would have been enough to kill him in the first place. So, so
He's
he
dead before he hits the ground.
So you in a you know what you do? You aim your Eldritch Blast for like a small little stalagmite popping out of the ground, and it actually splits your laser beam, and you hit both of his hands, which explode, and he goes tumbling backwards. So yes, it was very, very fancy with a 27. Yeah, why not? All right. Anything else?
No, I think I'm good where I'm at.
All right. So something I almost forgot to do, Knobolas. You started your turn right next to the body of this dead troglodyte. You need to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please, as the smell starts to
dead.
overtake you.
Oh my god. Well, I would have moved away from it if I had known that, but okay, whatever.
Well, it's if you start your turn next to it. So
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you. 11.
11 does not succeed. So you are poisoned until the start of your next turn, which is really not going to matter unless you take like a attack of opportunity. So don't really worry about it. But you're also not immune to other creatures' stench for the time being. So, okay. Up next is Agnomeio.
Aha! Well, everyone else is having such a good time throwing folks into pits. I would like to as well. I'm going to run over to this fella.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to I'm going to try to Hurricane Rana him into the pit. I don't know if you ever are wrestling fans, but where you jump up and grab a guy with your feet and then whip him over.
Nice.
I want to whip him like that into the pit.
Whip
All
him
right.
good.
All right, so we're gonna call that a grapple. So let me just I always forget how grapples work, but strength athletics versus So roll athletics for me, an athletics check.
You got it. Come on, baby. 19.
Oof, I gotta roll well. So I rolled a 10. All right. So I'm gonna let this work. So you why don't you tell me what you do? That sounds great.
I'm gonna run up to him, and as he's reaching out to grab me, I'm gonna jump up. I'm gonna wrap my ankles around his neck, and then whip around and just toss him in a little overhead throw down into the pit. Just boom.
Fantastic.
Oh,
so
no, before that, I'm going to spin around his shoulders, too. Just to make it really cool.
Awesome. All right, so he goes launched over the side, and you actually are close enough to the side to see him get pulverized by some of these sharp rocks. Like, it is not a pleasant way down, and you can see his body enter the water and not come back up. All right. Up next is actually the troglodyte that you just killed. So let me kill him. So good job. Otherwise, he would have been. All right. Up next after him is the one troglodyte that is left on the surface here. He is
scared shitless.
You hear him. I don't have a sound effect for this, so I guess I'm gonna have to try to do it. You hear him make a noise from his throat. It sounds. You know what? This is better. Do you remember the Dilophosaurus from Jurassic Park, where when it shot out its frills and it was like. Like that? Yeah. This thing, it has these gills and it kind of sticks them out and it kind of makes a like noise. And you guys hear the sound of rocks starting to rumble up above your head.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
This is something much larger than anything that you've seen or heard in this cavern so far. And then he's going to take the rest of his turn to run over to you, Knobolas. I'm going to call that sound his bonus action. He's going to make a bite and a claw attack against you. Actually, sorry, he's going to make a bite and 2 claw attacks against you.
I need to keep pouring. Don't I need to keep pouring? It sounds like I need to keep pouring.
Yeah,
you might.
Like
well,
you need more rum.
Well, that he ended up rolling a high. Sorry, hold on. He rolled a 23 to hit for 3 damage. So not a whole lot.
Nice.
So that was his bite. Then he's going to try to swipe at you with his claws. The 8 is not going to hit.
Does not hit.
So then he swipes at you with his other claw.
Okay.
14.
I'm a 14. Is that a hit or yes?
It is a
or
hit.
no?
Yep.
Okay.
Meet or beat. So he does another 4 damage to you.
Okay.
All right. And that will be the end of his turn. So, back up at the top of the round. However, up from the ceiling, you see rocks start to crumble down as the ceiling starts to break away. And a large insectoid-looking creature, which you would know is called an umber hulk, drops down in between all of you. Actually, he's gonna drop down. I think it's way better if he drops down kind of right next to all of the creatures here. He's gonna drop down in the center, and he's gonna look at you, and you're gonna notice that he has these really bright, gleaming eyes. And we're gonna end there for tonight. So, because there's just no way we're getting through this fight before it's time to sign off. So,
oh my God, look at that thing.
Big, mean-looking fella.
Yeah, he's gonna be fun. All right, so I hope you guys had a good time. Thank you everybody for joining us here on Dungeons and Drams. As always, I would like to thank our patrons, Mike, Adriana, EJ, James, Steve, Tony Two Toes, and Gavin. And David as well. Actually, I have to add him to my list. So thank you guys very much for supporting us on Patreon, getting some of that behind-the-scenes stuff. The people who were subscribed last week got to learn some more information about the lizard folk and their god and the progeny of their species. So it was kind of fun to write, and I have a lot of fun with that stuff. But thank you guys all for playing tonight. It was really fun. I had a lot of fun torturing you through this maze, and I'm happy you actually managed to, as you said, go down every single path. So,
Every single one.
Excellent.
Through Dungeons and Drams form.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys, and I hope you all have a great rest of your night. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.